wrestling. How many times have we debated with our friends on the top wrestlers of all time? I know we did often as kids. So here's my top 10 list of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and I hope I don't make a lot of people angry with it. Number 10, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was one of the most prolific high-flying wrestlers of all time. When he broke onto the scene, he was nothing but a tag team wrestler, but went on to have a great solo career. He's best known for his matches with Bret Hart and forming the Generation X group during the Attitude Era. Shawn Michaels has done it all. He's a multi-time world champion. Even in his 40s, this guy could have a great match with a broomstick. That's how good he was. And he'll always go down as one of the greatest in-ring workers of all time. Number 9, Bret the Hitman Hart. He was also a multi-time world champion, and he was the biggest star in the WWF for most of the 1990s. Although he never drew the same money as Hogan or Austin did, he did help preserve the WWF after the steroid scandal, and he contributed to the wholesome image that Vince McMahon was trying to keep within his brand. Also, well, who would ever forget the Montreal Screwjob and his unprecedented match with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. It was one of the greatest matches of all time. He was the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Cheers to Bret Hart. Number 8, The Rock. The most electrifying man in sports entertainment. He lit up the wrestling world with his many catchphrases, awesome charisma, and his quick wit. Arguably the greatest talker of all time. Now, I know people will say, why is he so low on this list? Well, The Rock was only a full-time wrestler for about 7 years, and he struggled to get over in the early stages of his development as the Rocky Maivia character. And in my opinion, that just hurts him. Number 7, Andre the Giant. Billed as the 8th wonder of the world, Andre was a special attraction that fans were always willing to pay to see. His main event match with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3 was a key reason why that pay-per-view broke the indoor attendance records for any sporting event at the time. Andre was a megastar, and he enjoyed a long, successful career in multiple wrestling territories. Number 6, Macho Man Randy Savage. The Macho Man was one of the few main eventers in the 1980s that combined charisma and personality with an intense in-ring style that produced many 5-star matches. He was a long-time reigning WWF champion and was voted by many as the greatest Intercontinental champion of all time. Not to mention, having Elizabeth by your side helps. Enough said. Number 5, The Undertaker. Will anyone ever forget his Hell in a Cell match with Mick Foley? I know I won't. The Undertaker was the longest-serving wrestler with the WWF and was one of the top drawing talents for over 2 decades. He is perhaps the only person that can claim to have been a star in the early 90s, a star in the Attitude Era, and a star in the PG era. Long live The Undertaker. Number 4, Roddy Piper. Now, Piper never won a world title. He was by far still one of the greatest heels of all time in the industry. Who will ever forget when he hit Jimmy Superfly Snuka with the coconut? It was epic. Piper also had a great run as a babyface in the WWF when he was the Intercontinental Champion. Piper's many classic promos delivered in his familiar raspy tones epitomized the reasons why he was given his own talk show segment, the infamous Piper's Pit. Hot Rod will go down as one of the greatest of all time. Number 3, Hulk Hogan. Now, Hulk Hogan was a real presence in the 1980s, as millions of children bought into his real-life superhero persona of the Hulkster. He drew more money than anyone in the wrestling business at the time, and was one of the biggest stars this industry will ever know. Hogan's promos were well thought out, but when he told kids to say their prayers, train, eat their vitamins, he was fulfilling his role as a role model. Hogan's charisma was off the charts. When he spoke, everyone listened. Hulk Hogan was influential in putting wrestling on the map as far as the mainstream and popularity goes. Not to mention his epic NWO heel turn in the 90s during the Monday Night Wars was unforgettable. Number 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold is arguably the most popular wrestler ever to lace up a pair of boots, and his status as a first ballot Hall of Famer is justified by his many world title reigns. And his role in the eventual victory of the WWF in the Monday Night Wars against the WCW was influential. In my opinion, the only man that ever rivaled Hulk Hogan in terms of mainstream popularity, Stone Cold was the face of the Attitude Era and drew the highest pay-per-view rates in television history, in wrestling history. Not even a broken neck could keep this man down. It's a shame, because had he have not gotten hurt, it wouldn't have cut his career short, and I think he could have ended up taking the top spot on this list. Number 1, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Ric Flair was the man in professional wrestling with 16 world championship reigns and over 40 years of television exposure. Flair has been a main event draw with whichever company he worked for. Flair's blonde hair and natural arrogant look always helped the success of the Nature Boy character. That was the rich and arrogant superstar that lived the high life and rubbed the faces of those who were less fortunate in it. Ric Flair was one of the first heels that fans actually cheered for. He knew how to connect with the fans. He took advice from a lot of different wrestlers and adapted their styles, and in his in-ring ability and his high-profile matches, not to mention his run with the Four Horsemen, propelled Ric Flair to the top. No man did more to heighten the importance of the microphone than Ric Flair, and he was a natural at delivering world-class promos, not to mention the plethora of catchphrases such as "to be the man, you gotta beat the man," and his trademark, "Woo!" He was the best. In closing, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I didn't upset too many people with my list. Please like, share, and subscribe as I'm trying to grow this channel. Also, follow me over on Rumble. Please leave a comment. I do read them. Let me know what your top 10 list may look like. And until next time, bye for now.